The California School for the Deaf was founded in 1860 in San Francisco. It since moved to Fremont, where it celebrated its 150th anniversary 6 years ago. Over the decades, this school has seen nearly everything, but it hasn't seen nationally televised football until tonight.
Football has its own symphony of sounds. Pads popping, the ball smacking right into your gloves. Coach yelling, the band playing. Athletic tape ripping, the air horn at practice. Your own breath inside your helmet. The band, the crowd. Hut, hut, hut. Now imagine football without any of that. A game built on sensory overload, played in total silence. These are the Eagles. They play the game you know, but a game you've never seen, and a game they'll never hear. But man, can they play. So listen up and learn. Welcome to the California School for the Deaf.
You're watching the 2016 Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase. From Fremont, California, it's the Woodland Christian Cardinals and the California School for the Deaf, Fremont Eagles. Welcome to Fremont, folks, as we say hello. Welcome to high school football on ESPN. My name is Kevin Brown. Pleased to be joined by Craig Haubert, Dan Hawkins, and Quinn Kesnick will join us momentarily. Well, tonight's game is going to be a little bit different than the football that we're all used to. There'll be no public address announcer, no band, no music whatsoever. But here at the California School for the Deaf, Fremont, while the presentation of the game we know and love may be a little different, the play of the 8-1 Eagles, Craig, is anything but.
Partner, football is football. Community, passion, sacrifice. That is a part of high school football throughout the country. And for the California School for the Deaf, it is no different. Yes, because they're deaf, they face certain challenges, and they have to be able to adapt to certain aspects of the game. But at its core, these are young men who want to be a part of a brotherhood. They want to go on a journey to challenge themselves, better themselves, and try and win a title, just like any high school football player in the nation, whether hearing or deaf. Tonight on this field, you will see a bunch of young men giving them all and leaving it on the field.
We're pleased to be joined by Dan Hawkins, the third member of our broadcast crew. And Hawk right now is outside the Eagles locker room.
What's great about high school football, and particularly California School for the Deaf, look at the lessons that you're going to see on the wall here today. We're in the heart and soul of Eagle football. It's not just about football. It's about the lessons that they're going to learn, that they're going to take through for the rest of their life. You've got two high school coaches that love the kids, love the sport, and more importantly, are here to mentor young people to succeed in life. Things like toughness, overcoming adversity, setting goals, brotherhood. It's what's great about high school football and football in general.
It's time now to go to the California School for the Deaf cheerleaders for our national anthem. the CSD cheer squad with tonight's national anthem. We caught up with Coach Warren Keller and a few of his players on what it means to play tonight on ESPN.
This kind of event only happens once in a lifetime. And how often do you get the chance to see a live game that involves deaf players and deaf athletes? I mean, it almost never happens. So for us to get that kind of an opportunity, I think it's a great exposure for the deaf community, because by reputation, deaf people are always underestimated. And until they see us on TV, they'll realize that we are actually capable of doing anything. I think it'll make a huge impact on the deaf community, especially in Fremont. When we found out that we were going to be on ESPN, we thought this was going to be a live nationwide audience, and we think our program is actually going up in the right direction. And we're very excited to show what deaf students can do. We're very excited to show the deaf community. We're excited to show CSD. I can see that our momentum is getting higher and higher because because the game is getting bigger and bigger. I mean, not only is it ESPN, it's senior night, and we're taking this obviously very seriously. Practices are not easy, just in general, but we know that we want to go bigger and farther than we've ever been. And I want to show the world that deaf students can play football. We can see them. We can show them what a deaf team looks like, how we communicate, so they can get an idea of that. Really, that's just what I want them to see. I mean, I just want to show them that deaf people can play football.
Let's join Quint Kesnick now, live on the field with the head coach of the Eagles, Warren Keller. Quint?
Coach, what emotions are you and the team dealing with right now?
We can't believe we've been waiting too long for this. We've known about this game for a long time. We've been focusing 1 week at a time, but now it's finally here. We're ready to play and have fun.
What are your expectations?
We expect to represent the deaf community well. We play hard and we have good sportsmanship, and hopefully we'll win the game.
Thank you.
Quinn, thank you. The other head coach in this game is Mark Johnson of the Woodland Christian Cardinals, former college coach. And Hawk, we'll get into this throughout the game, but he's someone that you know well, in fact.
Mark Johnson, I recruited him out of Vacaville High School, not too far from here, and a UC Davis product, and coached with him a couple times, and a guy that has a heart for men in football as well.
Well, we are underway. The Eagles receive the kick. It is big Brandon Evans Duran, who may be CSD's strongest player at 6'3", 210. For a long time here at the California School for the Deaf Fremont, there's been a Peterson under center. Jax is the sixth in his family to play quarterback. And Craig, he wasn't even a natural quarterback, but at 76% completion, you wouldn't even know it.
Kevin, he is what I call a gamer. You put the football in his hands, he finds ways to make plays, whether with his arm or with his feet.
Out of the first play, Peterson will look to the air, pull it down, and run it. Take it down from behind by Joe Pike. And now you see how the California School for the Deaf calls the plays in. And they run about as fast of a no-huddle offense as you'll see at any level. It's adopted from Chip Kelly at Oregon. They want to get the snap out as quickly as possible. Cameron bears the motion man. Jax Peterson gives it up the gut to the freshman, Kalel Arombolas. A first down for the Eagles.
14 years old, Coach. That's a big boy.
Freshman at 250. He can rumble.
Trying to tackle a free technique.
One of the cool things about this game is you're going to see both of these players on both sides of the line of scrimmage, offense and defense.
Teams between 23 and 26 players each. They go both ways, and Spezio Herman will go all the way. Touchdown, Eagles. 45 yards.
Spezio, another athlete on this team, leads the team in rushing. This guy, he does it all. He's a receiver. He's a runner. Really one of the main cogs of this team. You're going to see number 3 a lot.
That's his 20th total touchdown of the year. 10 rushing, 9 receiving, 1 on a punt return as well. Eagles will go for 2, and why not Harmon again? 8-0, the California School for the Deaf Fremont, and Spezio gets them all.
Coach, you referenced Spezio's athleticism. You get him here in motion, pitch it to him. You see the block from the back, and he's out to the edge, and there is no one there. He's got outstanding speed, takes it right into the end zone. big play right off the bat for this California School for the Deaf.
I think his coach might not be too appreciative of holding the ball out here so early. He'll probably, these guys are huge on sportsmanship and representing the game. And we were at the team meeting last night where there were a few guys talked to. So I think coach might have a few words for him.
You know, in this setting, though, TV cameras here, those juices are flowing.
Great first start. The rain has come on and off here today. It's great right now. It's a little slick out there. There have been some times of heavy rain, so you get one of these teams gets out early a little bit, and we get one of those deluge buckets come in here. It might inhibit the scoring a little bit later.
Angel Lara will kick it away for the Eagles. A 3-play drive and the touchdown run from Harmount. It's a short kick for Lara. They practiced this quite a bit in practice yesterday, and a big hit delivered on the return came from Bryce Boyd. He got knocked down by the junior John Leslie. Quarterback is Eric Wyatt for the Woodland Christian Cardinals. Young man who is a second-year starter, a do-it-all player. 18 total touchdowns on the year, including 6 in a game 3 weeks ago.
Over 500 yards rushing as well. As Coach Johnson told us, he is the guy that makes this offense go.
Primarily a runner, and that's what they'll try to do is get the running game early.
Cooper Johnson, son of the coach, is a running back here, and he drives his way through for a pickup of 6 yards on 1st and 10. But what you see with some of these smaller schools, guys, is you see players that are a little bit smaller. And for the Eagles, they win with speed. They don't necessarily win with brute strength. What you can see, because their defensive tackle, Tyvon Lemaster, weighs 127. That's about what you get on these lines.
Well, when you know you have an injury at tackle and you move a wide receiver in there to take the place, as in the case for the deaf school here, yeah, you don't have a lot of girth.
Johnson tripped up. Brandon Evans-Duran, their middle linebacker and senior captain. Number 30, hard to miss, Craig. Not just the size, but the hair, too.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's the leader of that defense. He takes the call from the sideline and then signals it to the rest of the defense. And when he wants to make a change, Coach, he's got to get everybody's attention, get their eyes on him so he can make that change. As we're seeing him right now, he's working to the line, getting those guys properly aligned.
Just so the defensive quarterback, Mario Arellano, he calls the plays defensively as Warren Keller does on offense. 3rd and a yard for Wyatt. The give is to Bryce Boyd. He is hit in the backfield. No gain on the play. And you see Harris, number 30, and there is Mario Arellano signaling in the plays to Harris, the middle linebacker, as he distributes to the rest of his team.
Mario Arellano, been here 20 years at the California School for the Deaf. You really enjoyed, been in practice the last 2 days. I've really enjoyed the interaction with these kids and the coaches and just the spirit and life and uniqueness they bring to the whole event.
Well, Black kicks it away. The Eagles were in a base defense and no one deep to receive, and this punt from Black will roll inside the 10-yard line, a kick of 45. An explosive start here in Fremont for the Eagles. 3 plays and a touchdown for the California School for the Deaf.
The 2016 Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here's a look at the pep rally earlier in the day here at CSD Fremont. California School for the Deaf in Fremont. Over 400 students, 124 high schoolers. And there's the cheer squad. Performed a beautiful rendition of the national anthem before the game. Their Eagles on offense, and then we'll start from, well, within their own territory, back inside the 10. Ball at the 7 for Jax Peterson. On the give, this is the big freshman, Kalel Arambolas. California School for the Deaf, one of 2. They're in Fremont. There's a California School for the Deaf in Riverside in Southern California as well. Founded in 1860 in San Francisco, moved to Berkeley, and they've been in Fremont now for close to 40 years. Peterson's pass is tipped. Knocked away by Miles Lampley, the senior transfer from Davis High School.
A lefty, Jax Peterson, he's best rolling to his left, but he had the pressure off the edge. Good job by that defender, coach. If you can't get to the quarterback, you get your hand up. Got a deflected pass.
Jax is a guy that usually makes his living running the football. Even though he's coming off 2 ACL injuries, you see the knee brace on the right knee.
Off the low snap, a lot of work to do here. Peterson jukes his way out of a tackle. There goes Jax down the sidelines. Jax Peterson run out by the opposing quarterback, Eric Wyatt. A huge gain on 3rd and long. Give him 44.
You see that knee brace on the right knee. There was a bad snap. He picked up that football. You want to get that thing tucked in, but you're right, coach. You see the ability to create with his legs, his speed, and the athleticism to turn a play that initially looked like disaster into a big game.
This kid's a street baller. I'm telling you, I enjoyed watching him the last couple days. He started as a freshman on the basketball team. They won a championship. He's not normally a quarterback, and then he was dinged up last year because of the knee, and he normally was not a quarterback, although his whole family plays quarterback.
Another low snap. The center is Noah Manangu, and Miles Lampley came in with the pressure.
Coach was worried a little bit. California, it's such a great environment. They don't play in the rain very much, so he was very nervous. They were throwing balls in the mud and bringing them out of a bucket of water during practice. He was very nervous about what would happen in the rain with the ball.
This is Spezio Harmon, who scored on his last touch. And all Harmon does here is break a tackle and pick up 20 for a first down. How about 2 carries, 65 yards, and the Eagles are already getting back to the line.
They use a lot of motion. Again, they get Spezio on the sweep and get the football in his hand. Nice blocking out in front, and they're allowing him to get to the edge without being touched. And with his athleticism, once he turns that corner, he's able to pick up some yardage and move the chains.
Flip it out to Cameron Bear, the senior captain. Bear with a neat stiff arm before he's thrown out of bounds by Roman Ochoa. 13 yards, and the Eagles go, go, go.
He had to step in and play in Mississippi. They played the School of Deaf in Mississippi, played quarterback the whole second half because Jax landed on the chain crew down in Mississippi, and he missed the whole second half.
Landed on his tailbone. You mentioned earlier the couple of ACL tears on the knee. Has a brace on the right knee, Peterson. Gives to the freshman, Arambolis, looking for the edge. Khalil Arambolis, a first down. Bodied out of bounds near the goal line, and he is in. Touchdown, Eagles. My goodness, what a start.
This playbook for California School of Deaf. I was at practice. I think I was here 2 days. I don't know if I saw the same play run twice. Think about it. These guys can communicate, and basically some of their plays even are, X right, Craig go left, Hawk go right, Kevin, you go left. I mean, they'll actually spell it just out like that. So they have a whole breadth of language that they can communicate these plays non-verbally.
Well, Jax Peterson told us they have 250 in the playbook.
That's it?
That's it so far.
Well, that's not even, as you mentioned, Coach, with the addendums of just you go post here and you go route.
Well, Coach was asking me what some of my favorite plays were, and so we were drawing some things up on the board. And then he was going, yeah, like I'm going to put it in. I'm going, well, I'm thinking to myself, Coach,
did you draw that one up?
You got 1 day. No, I didn't draw that one up. You got 1 day, but their system is so flexible in what they do, they can combine everything.
Extra point good from Angel Lara. 7 plays, 93 yards in 95 seconds. Blink and you miss him. The Eagles soaring early on the wet track. 136 rushing yards in the first 2 drives for the California School for the Deaf, Fremont. 2 touchdowns. We look back at our last drive with our Buick Drive recap.
It all started with Jax Peterson on a 3rd down, picking up a poor snap and being able to run for a big gain, making something out of nothing, the leader of this offense. And then they handed it off to the big man, Khalil Arambolis. 5'10", 247 pounds, rumbles to the edge and into the end zone.
That's 93 yards in 95 seconds. Hawk, they said they modeled it after Oregon. Do you see this kind of speed anywhere?
Well, they can go so fast. Their hand signals are really a benefit in this type of offense. It's not a deficit.
High kick from Lara, fair catch called for and made by Cooper Johnson. Woodland Christian is the opponent tonight for the Eagles. The Cardinals, who started 0-3 but have won 5 in a row. They're out of Woodland, California, Yolo County in the Sacramento Valley. 190 high school students for a football program that's made terrific strides for only being about a decade old.
And what's interesting, too, about this group is only 2 seniors amongst the whole group. And, Coach, you know that can make you nervous going into a game with only 2 seniors.
Mark Johnson just had one of his kids turn 14 to be eligible for this game. And he's got another kid, 13, that he's waiting on to turn 14.
Here's his son, Cooper Johnson, with a big first down runner. A helmet comes off. It's Johnson, so he'll have to leave for a play. And let's look now at Brandon Harris, the defensive leader. And to the top right of your screen, the defensive coordinator, Mario Arellano, signaling the plays.
One interesting thing about this defense is, and I try to think of similarities between the hearing game and a school for the deaf, is they don't hear the whistle on defense. So they have to have some type of feel for when the play is over. And at times, they may go a little bit past. And it's for the other team to understand that and know that it's not necessarily something that's being flagrant, but just trying to get that feel for when the play is over.
I think it really heightens their senses for the whole operation, though. I really do.
Bryce Boyd through the middle. Quinn Kesnig actually talked to our referee before the game on how he might handle this situation differently, Q.
Kurt Stroman is our official. It's a 5-man crew. They just have to be really diligent in terms of plays where a player's knee may have gone down or there's a flag and a whistle, and they're going to be super animated to help the California School for the Deaf players in any of those situations. And you'll see some good sportsmanship from Woodland Christian as well in those scenarios.
No matter who we talk to here at CSD, they praise the sportsmanship of this Woodland Christian team. They got to know the Cardinals last year at a Playmakers camp. Cooper Johnson again, run game strong for the Cardinals early on. Gain of 9.
These are 2 programs that have scrimmaged against each other, and all the upperclassmen have faced the California School for the Deaf in a scrimmage situation. So they understand a little bit about some of those extra dynamics of the game, Coach.
Yeah, and the Woodland School they fed these guys some meals. So that's why the California School for the Deaf wanted to have Woodland Christian when this opening came up, just because so much familiarity and respect for each other, respect for the game and how you're supposed to play it.
Well, originally this was supposed to be a school called Livermore Valley Charter Prep, coached actually by Fred Biletnikoff Jr., son of the former Raiders great. They had to drop football due to a lack of numbers. So that tells you something about Woodland Christian. This wasn't just on the schedule before this game was supposed to be televised. They had the open date, and Warren Keller wanted to reach out to these Cardinals and Mark Johnson.
I love both of these teams having the low 20s, 22, 23, 24 guys on the roster, but they still play 11-man football.
First design run for Wyatt, tripped up for a loss. That's Uxmal Alcaraz, junior corner, who is their best defensive back.
These guys are tough and scrappy now.
Woodland tries to get to the edge, and you see penetration off the edge, getting low, taking the QB, Eric Wyatt, down.
One of the things very interesting that we talked to the coaches yesterday, you scan that defensive line, they love to put their players that play a lot, put them away from the line of scrimmage so they don't have to work quite as hard. They put all those scrappy guys up front on the D-line, let them do all the hard work.
They shifted the 2 ends, and the ball's on the ground. Kobe Sitman picks it up for the Eagles takeaway. It's a wet track out there, guys. These exchanges centered at quarterback can be slippery, and Sitman takes advantage.
Quint and I were talking before the game what we thought the number of turnovers are going to be, and he was kind of in that 3 or 4 range. I was kind of more in that 5 or 6. We'll see who ends up on the right end at the end.
Well, Sitman was his second fumble recovery of the year. And again, 5'7", 140 starting left end for these Eagles, a team that plays a heck of a lot bigger than their listed weight. Jax Peterson gives to Spezio Harmounts. Harmount driving forward. He lost the football, but it's picked up by CSD and Angel Lara. Warren Keller has the play. Says his team rarely changes plays at the line of scrimmage. They get what the coach tells them, and they go and go.
Well, they really haven't been changing plays much either and getting Spezio out in the edge. But here, the defense is able to rally, get some hats on him. He put the football on the ground, but the Eagles able to recover.
Peterson, a first down hit for Cameron Bear. Senior captain to senior captain for a gain of 8.
One of the other cool things, Warren has drives. They're already pre-calculated. He has them written out. Drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, drive 4. And he just looks at the drive and goes right down that list. Now, sometimes he changes it on third down, but he's got them already down. He knows exactly what he's doing on each drive.
Arabolas, the big bruiser. You see the quick signs. The first signal is usually for the formation. That second signal from Warren Keller is the play call. And you've got to have something ready to go in your brain because of their speed.
Yeah, and I really love the way these guys pay attention. And this is where I think they have an advantage. They have to look. They've got to put their eyes on the coach and pay attention to their buddies and be on the same page.
Peterson away from pressure. It's Evans Duran. He'll find pay dirt. 36 yards. Brandon Evans Duran, his 7th touchdown reception of the year. 3 drives, 3 scores.
Great to see Jax Peterson. You see him kind of waving him over into that open area, and this is where that awareness, he just kind of turned around. Brandon just kind of hooked up, and he just was basketball play. I'll throw it to you right in that open area.
Well, the 3 senior captains, Peterson and Bear and Evans Duran, we talked to them all. You'll hear from them and see them throughout the broadcast a little more. All grown up together from 3rd grade on, a tight-knit brotherhood, as they continually referred to it, talking to us yesterday. And it's Peterson to Bear for a first down, then Peterson to Evans Duran for a touchdown. 22-0. The Eagles rolling in the first. Touchdown pass from Jax Peterson to Brandon Evans Duran. Those two and Cameron Bear talked to us about the lifelong brotherhood they've established here in Fremont.
We see each other at school every day. We don't separate from each other. You know, we're always tight. We always talk about sports, events after school, what our plans are, what we want to do. And even since we were kids, that's been the same thing. We've always had dreams together. So, I mean, we've always thought we were going to play basketball and other sports. And we just kind of really grew from there. It helped very much. Really, this team has always been there for each other. We're always supporting each other for one another. We're a brotherhood. We really think of the one soul and one spirit of the team.
And the voice you hear is that of Dane Lentz, who's one of our interpreters, Rebecca Quigley as well. We thank them for their help here with the folks at the California School for the Deaf Fremont. And what a community this is. You know, and it's not just, guys, the folks here in Fremont. In talking to Warren Keller and talking to the players, they really reference the fact that this is a stage not just for them. This is a stage for the deaf community in California and for the deaf community nationwide to see what deaf young men could do.
Guys, these guys are proud of being deaf. They're not hearing impaired. They're deaf. They love being deaf. Many of these people get cochlear implants. They don't want to. They draw people from all over the Northern California area in here, and particularly in Fremont. They go around and play these schools around the country. They're proud of who they are and how they operate, and there is a real kinship and brotherhood there.
You know, we talked to Coach Keller, and you ask him what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of being deaf, and the answer you often get with some of these folks is there is no disadvantage, particularly on the football field. Their communication's so strong.
I think their sense of focus and their awareness and concentration with each other and the coach and the game is heightened because they don't have all this lackadaisical. Sometimes a hearing person just thinks, oh, yeah, I'll catch what I'm supposed to catch vocally. These guys got to be locked in.
Cooper Johnson off the end, ran right into his blocker, took a big hit from Unkaraz, but has a first down.
The other thing is, too, is this is a boarding school, and we were in a meeting with Coach last night with the team, and he asked, how many of you guys have been together since elementary school? And he was even surprised, about 3/4 of the team. As a unit, this is truly a brotherhood because they've come up through elementary school, through middle school, all the way to high school. They have a great bond with each other that stretches back many years.
Half the kids live here on campus, and they board here during the week just like you would at a college, and then go home on the weekend.
Wyatt keeps it on the read option. And a pickup of 6 on first down.
This Woodland team, Wyatt is a running quarterback. We talked about Cooper Johnson. They're predicated on just grinding out the clock. They don't have the speed that California School for the Deaf has. They need to possess the ball and maximize their opportunities when they have it. Mark Johnson doing an awesome job. He's been all over college football, a very accomplished coach. Really proud of his approach to the game and the kids, doing it for all the right reasons.
Talking with Coach Johnson earlier in the week, we referenced the roster numbers. There's less than 25 guys on that sideline. So you know what that means? The coaches are very involved in practice. They are a part of it as far as holding dummies and helping out in drills. This is truly a team effort on both sides, but I think Coach Johnson really stressed how much his coaches have had to really kind of get involved in what they do.
Don't have enough guys for the drill. You got to get a bag, hold a bag, be a dummy. You just got to be careful you don't get overzealous and take a helmet to the chin.
3rd and 4, design run for Wyatt. Sheds a tackler and gets hit hard and knocked down.
But that's the great thing that you mentioned in the opening, coaches. You got Woodlands that can hear. You have California School of the Deaf that is naturally deaf, but these are two programs that are based on the same thing, working together, being a family, trying to help each other out. That does not change regardless of that one big difference between them.
That's why I love this game, and I really applaud ESPN for doing it. We don't have 5-star guys out here. There might be some college guys down the road, but they're here for the love of the game and the love of the sport and what's right about high school sports, what's right about sport in general, of coaches loving the kids, teaching them values of hard work, camaraderie, toughness, overcoming adversity, all those things that are important when they get away from here in life.
We actually talked to Mark Johnson before the game about just that.
You see how hard they play. They play the game the right way. They play it hard. They play it to compete, which is what we're all trying to get accomplished with our kids. You respect what these guys are doing, all the communication that has to go on between them, not being able to hear one another. It's something that we try, those guys that hear on our teams, we try to really reinforce the communication to our guys that can speak and hear. So it's just, we tip our cap to what they accomplish each and every time they go out and play.
3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Eagles, who begin from their own 18. 19 seconds in the first. That should be good enough for 3 or 4 plays.
You've never seen the triple motion before. I promise you. Right there. You saw it. Groundbreaking football right here in the Bay Area.
And Peterson goes away from the motion. Esau Zornoza on the grab.
That was awesome.
Where's that in your playbook?
Oh, it's in there now. I guarantee you. There's a lot of no-huddle coaches around the country drawing this up. Now, the great thing is they can just signal this, go over there, go over there, go over there, and then let's throw the out route over here to the single receiver.
Called a gated 10 yards. Seconds ticking down to the first. 3 to the right again. This time Peterson goes that way to Cameron Bear. Plenty of blocking for Bear. Couple of broken tackles as he is into Woodland Christian territory. What a showcase here in the first quarter for the California School for the Deaf Fremont. Winners of 7 games in a row. They've scored touchdowns on their first 3 drives. Three touchdown drives for the California School for the Deaf Fremont in the opening quarter, and the Eagles on offense across midfield to begin the second. Kevin Brown, Craig Halbert with Dan Hawkins heading to the sideline, and Quinn Kestig there now, and we'll hear from Quinn momentarily after Jax Peterson gives to Khalil Arambolas, the freshman, on first down. Great start for Jax, Quinn, and what a young man this is. What a family lineage.
Yeah, he is in a long line of Petersons that have played quarterback here. During that last time out, he and Coach were talking about ball security and the amount of fumbles we've seen so far. He complained that he lost his towel to the other team, and so they got a new white one. You see how clean his towel is right now after losing it early.
Yeah, he might need the towel after that. Another low snap. They did dive back on top of it. It's slippery down there, and we're going to send Coach Hawk over to the sideline in a little bit, and he'll give us a coach's perspective from the box. Look forward to hearing what he has to say. Not raining heavily, but steadily at the moment. Arm out. Stuck in the backfield, Bryce Boyd. And a first punt force to 3 and out to begin the quarter, at least, for Woodland Christian. By the way, folks, at some point here in this first half, I want to let you know we'll be doing something a little bit different. We'll be instituting what we're calling a silent drive, where we're just going to turn the volume down and let you experience the game the way that the Eagles players do. That'll come later. For now, it's a pooch punt from Peterson on a 4th and long with no one back to receive. So the Eagles on defense with a 3-score lead when we return. Mark Johnson's Woodland Christian Cardinals heading back out on offense early in the second quarter. Hey, Dan Hawkins is our super utility man tonight, Craig. We've sent him down to the field. He is over on the Woodland Christian sideline. Hawk, what are you going to be looking for down there?
Coaches are just talking about execution right now. Woodland Christian has just kind of hurt themselves. They turned the ball over, missed assignments. They just want to execute on this drive.
We'll check in with Hawk in a bit. He's down on that Woodland Christian sideline, as you can see on the far side of the field. Brandon Evans-Duran, number 30, sets up the defense for CSD. Calling out the play to his defensive backs. See the Cardinals so far, no passing plays among their first 14.
This is a conservative offense that all starts with their quarterback, number 12. Eric Wyatt is now about getting a clean snap and trying to get some consistency on the drive. This is an important 3 downs to at least try and pick up that first down, get some momentum.
The first play here is a handoff to Bryce Boyd, stopped by Angel Lara, the nose tackle.
They just talked about Angel Lara. They said, we got to get 55 blocked. If we can't get him blocked, we got to figure out something else.
No, they're still figuring it out. That's a tackle by Lara, who has 3 tackles for a loss from the nose guard spot this year.
Amazing communication going on in the back end here for California School of Deaf. Look at all the signals. Look at all the communication happening.
Pressure shown by Evans-Duran. He barked.
Okay, I think that's a moral infraction right there. You can't come in and bark and make the hearing guys jump.
We'll see if it's a penalty, but it will be a moral infraction, Hawk, in your book at the very least. Again, Kurt Stroman is the referee tonight. And this is our first flag.
Brandon did come in there and bark, and that made him jump.
It is an unsportsmanlike foul against Evans Duran.
Yeah, they got it. Good job by the officials. You don't often get that when the snap count gets simulated, but Brandon did bark out, made the O-line jump.
Quince on the other sideline. Q, what you see there?
Well, they're saying that's a 15-yard infraction, and that if there's another one of that nature, that Brandon can be disqualified. So a serious penalty here, as you see the officials walk this one off. Simulating the snap count. Unsportsmanlike conduct, 15 yards. Next one will lead to a game expulsion.
He's the leader of this defense. And guys, last night with the team meeting, they addressed this with Brandon about trying to harness that fiery style of play that he has to try and avoid those type of penalties.
It's interesting, too, because they do hear vibrations, and many of these times they will yell at each other, so they can pick up some of the vibrations of yelling.
Wyatt was going to be his first pass attempt. Instead, it's a sack. Kobe Sitman led the charge off the end.
Coaches wanted Wyatt to get the ball out. I've yelled that a few times from the sideline. I'm going to take a sack.
It was a nice job just setting the edge, not letting Wyatt get outside, allowing the rest of the defense to rally. And going back to number 30, Brandon Evans Duran, he's one of two players on this team that is hearing impaired. He can hear a little bit. That makes him he's one of only two players on the team in that situation.
Khalil Arambolis, a freshman running back, the other. And a timeout called by Woodland Christian. It's first of the half. 22-0 for the Eagles.
Back in Fremont, California, California School of the Deaf up 22-0 on Woodland Christian School. And I got to tell you, from field side here, there's no difference between this game and any other high school football game I've ever been to in terms of pageantry. We got the smell of the pizza. When the Eagles make a big play, their sideline lights up. The guys are clapping, yelling, tremendous amounts of noise. And the same with the pageantry of the cheerleaders here in front of the press box.
That's great stuff, Quentin. That's the energy that we saw from the Eagles team before the game tonight and yesterday in the pregame speech as well. This play is run down by the big man, Evans Duran. But, boy, the noise from the clapping. This is a California School for the Deaf team. So take one more look at the hit from Evans Duran. That gets as animated and as energetic as anybody that we've seen, Craig, this whole year.
You know, I think for me, one of the surprising things about coming out here and getting to spend a day with this team and this community was they are very animated. There's a lot of noise, and you would think, you know, deaf community, but when they're still expressing, they're still screaming and they're clapping and very expressive in everything they do, and still a very loud campus as well.
Screen pass out of the hands of Cooper Johnson here. Luke Bella in on the pressure. And the top right of your corner is Mario Arellano, the defensive coordinator, who signals his team into place. He'll be ready for a punt here, which will come from Will Black. Pretty good kick by Black. No return after the punt of 35. Back to Fremont with the Eagles on offense when we return. ESPN app and watch ESPN. While the California School for the Deaf Fremont experiences the game a little differently than most of us do, we're going to give you some of that experience now. We'll turn the volume down and let you experience our silent drive. So the punt away from Jax Peterson after our silent drive, and for all but two players, a couple of players that are hard of hearing as opposed to deaf for the California School for the Deaf, and for many of the fans here, that's how they experience a game. There was a flag on that punt, by the way. Player was in late from the sideline for CSD Fremont. Penalty decline. Craig or Hawk or anybody who's here, Quinn, I'll open it up to you all. What do you notice when you watch football from up close with the sound off?
Well, I love just the sounds of the game, the grunts, the groans, all that stuff, the clapping, the pads. But I just think the concentration level of the Eagles, the California School for the Deaf, is really, really remarkable in how they are able to just execute and get all their information translated in a silent way.
It's silent internally, they can hear, but I can't stress enough the expressiveness verbally that is still coming out from the players, the people in the stands. The noise around was still pretty active, and I think that's something that has really struck me that I guess I didn't anticipate coming in, but it's silent for them, but the expression is still the same as it would be for any player, any group of fans in the stands.
Just saw the defensive coordinator Mario Arellano after the tackle for a loss for Marambolas. He's about as expressive as anyone.
He just took the words out of my mouth. He is passionate, and you could see it in his facial expressions and how big and expressive he is when he signs in those signals.
And just about the biggest smile on the place yesterday when we spent the day here. Mario, who was really one of the stars of the tremendous short film that was put together a couple of years ago, Silent Night Lights on E60. I know a lot of folks have told us just this week after it re-aired how much they enjoyed watching it again or watching it for the first time. And that's how we here at ESPN sort of got connected to the story here at Fremont, California. 3rd and 15 for Woodland Christian. Eric Wyatt. Here's a deep ball. Incomplete. Toby Hyatt, the intended target.
Tough break. Had him open on the flag route. A little wet out here. Drop ball. We saw Wyatt slip a couple plays ago. A few balls on the ground. Weather's pretty good right now, but a little soppy on the ground. The ball's a little soppy.
No, we've seen some low snaps from center because of the wet ground. Bo Black receives a clean one here. This is Spezio Harmon off the bounce. Their most explosive player was dragged down from behind, and there is a flag right around midfield after the return of 16. Jordan Trammell made the tackle. Tackle was right up under the helmet.
Craig, you can't take those majors on special teams. I'll tell you, those are just brutal. You never like them anywhere, but, man, when you have them on special teams, they're brutal. Obviously negates a great return by Spezio.
And we've seen the block in the back violation called against the Eagles. So the punt of 36, the return of 16 negated. And CSD Fremont will start at its own 37. Let's head down to the Eagles home crowd. Quinn Kesenick is here with a special guest.
Yes, we are joined by Jamie Crowley, the mom of quarterback Jax Peterson. I want to ask you about Jackson. What benefit has playing football been to him as a young adult?
Oh, wow. It's honestly, Jax has been playing sports, playing football since he was 6. I can't imagine him not playing football, really. So I mean, it's really been a wonderful experience for him, and he's just been a part of a core group of his brotherhood. You know, when he grew up with playing hearing football a while back when he was younger, and he still is outgoing. He meets a lot of other kids. And now that he's with his deaf teammates, he feels that same strong brotherhood.
First turnover of the game for the Eagles. How will he handle this now on the sideline as you look at him as a mom?
Oh, wow. It's turnover?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I totally missed it.
I'm sorry.
No, that'll definitely start a fire under him. Yeah, he'll definitely get him aggressive. He wants to play football now.
He is from a long line. Grandfather was a quarterback. Dad, older brother. What has that family lineage meant to him?
Oh, wow, it's huge. He's very proud to think of all that. When he gets together with that family, they always have a serious discussion. I'm just looking back and forth. Really, I don't have much to say about it. So it's all, his dad has always given him tips about what to say. His grandfather's always given him tips. His uncle as well. So it's been really great.
Thank you, Jamie. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the game.
Thank you very much.
Again, that was Jamie Crowley, Jax Peterson's mother. You did see the interception thrown, only the 4th of the year for Jax during that play. But this family, guys, Jax's grandfather was the first one to play football. His grandpa, Mel, still is around his school, still helps out in the chain gang. His father, Rod, played. His brother, Zane, was the quarterback for a few years, now playing baseball at Gallaudet. It's been nearly, the folks told us, a century of Petersons here at the California School for the Deaf. They haven't all played football, but many of them have been involved. And you walk the halls of the school, and you look at the Hall of Fame and the athletic accomplishments, and that last name just pops up left and right.
And they didn't anticipate, again, Jax being their quarterback. But because of the lineage and the feel he had for the position from being around his grandfather and his father and his brother, that he was able to take to the position and fill a need for them there. And it's really, overall, though, still his athleticism that allows him to be a playmaker at that spot. As since that interception, he's on the sideline, and he's been throwing ever since he's gotten over there.
Wyatt flips it to Johnson. Evans Duran in there to lay the stick down to set up 3rd down.
Little popping right there now. Brandon can run over there and hit you. Cooper Johnson, he's like, that's okay, bring it.
Hawk, you're up close and personal here with Brandon. He's 6'3", 210. What pops out when you're right in front of that young man?
He's a good-looking kid. You guys have seen him. He's built. He's cut. I mean, he's got the kind of body that would look, the same as an FCS player for sure, and certainly some degree as a D1 guy. Now, does he have that kind of training and background? Maybe not, but this guy could run and hit, and I think with a little bit of training, he could be something.
3rd down pass is incomplete for Hyatt. Set up 4th down. By the way, that last play for CSD Fremont, there's the big playmaker, Spezio Harmon, starting free safety, who was banged up, so he leaves the field. Discusses his injury with the athletic trainer. Scored the first touchdown of the game from 45 yards out. Harmon, hope that young man is okay to go.
Yeah, a real playmaker for them. You saw that length he possesses and good speed.
By the way, we have another interpreter, Rebecca Quigley, who is with us tonight. And Rebecca tells us that Spezio said to the trainer he's fine, just a little bit of tightness. So good news for the Eagles.
You got a roster of about 25 guys. That is always good news when you say, I'm all right, coach.
Because you lose a safety, and that usually means you're losing a safety and a running back, or a safety and a wide receiver. Folks, we got a monster game Saturday night in the ACC. Clemson and Florida State. The winner of this game the last 3 years has either made the national championship or the college football playoff. That's all that could be on the line for the Tigers. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, ABC, live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN.
We'll see how Jax Peterson responds after throwing that interception. Like I said, as soon as he did last drive, he went to the sideline and was throwing throughout the defensive turn.
Right here, right here, right here!
Arambolas down the sideline, a 14-year-old freshman with a huge first down run. We mentioned how Warren Keller and this team talked about wanting to represent the whole deaf community tonight. I love this from Jason S. Coleman on Twitter. My boy watching the game asked me if he can be on the TV when he's in high school. I told him because of that game, now it's possible. Thank you, Jason. And join the conversation, folks, with that hashtag WC versus CA Deaf.
Talking with Coach Keller yesterday, we asked him, how many of these young men do you think would be playing high school football if it wasn't for a community like this, whether it be California School for the Deaf, Fremont, or Riverside, or some of the others around the nation? He thought, you know what, maybe only 3 guys would have that opportunity to play at a hearing high school.
I think this guy's one of them. Greg Arambolas, a bowling ball. A gain of 16 and a first down.
Well, yeah, there's no question about that. Coach called him a beast, and I think a lot of programs around the nation can find use for that young man as he gets rumbling downhill, showing the stiff arm and trying slowing that guy down. But you think about the opportunity this presents for so many more young men to be able to be a part of the great game of football that had it not been for a school and a program like this, they would not have, and that is just awesome.
First down to Evans Duran across the 20, another one of their big playmakers.
I am just amazed at the variety of this offense now. They've got more formations, motion, plays. Holy cow, getting ready for this team on defense is a tough, tall order.
And it gets even taller. Spezio Harmount's back in the game, number 3 in the backfield after suffering a bit of tightness.
Woodland Christian did a nice job kind of slowing it down here and getting a few stops, and now the Eagles back on the march. Got to try to keep them out of the end zone here with a little over a minute left.
Ball at the 19, all 3 timeouts left. Gain of 2 for Harmount. There's the formation from Warren Keller, followed by the play. 30-year-old, 50-year head coach. He's also the athletic director here at CSD Fremont.
Spent 2 days with him. What a creative mind. What a guy that loves his kids. He said he'd like to get married at some point, had a girlfriend, but he's got a lot of kids of his own here at the school.
Not just a football team, that whole athletic program that Warren takes such great pride in. He replaced Kevin Kovacs, the old AD, who's now the men's basketball coach. Gallaudet in Washington, D.C., the nation's only college that is exclusively for deaf and hard of hearing students. Timeout here taken by the Eagles.
You could tell by the helmets and the style of offense, Coach, that Oregon, the Ducks, have a big influence. And Coach was telling us a couple years ago he went up to Eugene and clinic with Coach Helfrich and Scott Frost. You certainly see those influences.
Let's head to Quinn, who's just outside the huddle.
We can listen in via Dane Lentz, our interpreter.
This way you want to do this. And Esau, you go out and run an S route. And then from here we go double ghost left. Yeah, fake the bread. Double ghost left.
So double ghost left. That's a call out of the huddle. Thanks to Dane Lentz, our interpreter. And translating what we just saw in the huddle from Warren Keller. Hawk, you got a feel for what double ghost left means?
I don't, but we're fixing to find out.
Certainly seasonal, would it be not?
That's right. No better time for double ghost left. 3rd and 5. There's the fake we heard about. Peterson knocked away. Anders Johnson, talented freshman for the Cardinals, jumped in front. And Peterson took a wallop behind the play.
Matt Schaefer is going to get the initial penetration to force Jax to roll out. Not as strong, rolling to his left, and kind of put it up there and allowed for the defense to be able to rally and get the pass break up.
Another 14-year-old Johnson, who plays a huge role for this team. Coach raved about his football savvy. Angel Lara will try a field goal here to 4th down, 30 yards away.
Now, Angel can bang it, but he also takes a while to get it off here, so be careful this doesn't get blocked.
Evans Duran to snap. Bayer to hold. Lara's kick is up. It is good with a flag behind the play. So the strong-legged senior, who they say is hit from up to 60 in practice, drills the kick, but we'll check the marker.
Woodland Christian saying they tipped the ball.
So some contact after Lara's follow-through. Now it's 4th down and 5. Yeah, you take the penalty here.
Yeah.
Eagles would have a 1st down of their own.
Kind of surprised the Eagles got in two backs and tight end. That's not normally what they like to do.
Where's the football? Change your gun. Box, come with me. Box. No.
Well, Peterson and the offense back onto the field.
Coach Johnson yelling for defense of the swinging gate, which is what they did on the 2-point play, where everybody lines up on one side and they fire the ball over there.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 7, so a roughing the kicker half the distance penalty. Again, 2 timeouts for the Eagles, 21 seconds. Arambolis and Harmount the backs. It's Spezio Harmount. Arambolis, a lead blocker. And Spezio scores his 2nd of the game. They take the 3 off the board and tack on 6.
Well, a pretty good game plan is to follow number 11. The big freshman, he's out in front, gets a block, didn't need to do much. As Spezio Harmont is able to break through the contact and punch it in. And that was a tough one for Woodland, because they had been able to stop them, at least force them to 3, and a penalty on the special teams on the kick allowed the Eagles another chance, and don't want to give this offense, as explosive as it is, another opportunity to trade in 3 for 6.
Hawk, I think you mentioned it earlier, how tough those special teams penalties are for a coach, and this one leads to an extra 4 for CSD Fremont.
Can't do it. Everybody talks about penalties. The biggest ones are defensive penalties that continue a drive, and there you saw Spezio getting the toss play and powering it in. He's what we call an angry runner. He is looking. These guys are looking to punish people when they run.
Now over 20 touchdowns on the season. Certainly a nose for the end zone.
11 on the ground for Harmount, 9 through the air, 1 on a punt return. Tonight, 6 carries, 74 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Now you might see executed what they call the tamales punt kick. I said tamales. I thought it was pooch kick. They call it tamales kick here. Hot tamale.
All right, we're going to look for the hot tamale here from the Eagles, who spent the first portion of practice yesterday. All sorts of different pooch kicks and onside kicks. Angel Lara. This is Boyd. Spun down with 10 seconds remaining. Now 8.5. CSD Fremont scored on its first 3 drives tonight. 29-0 at the half. And you look at this, their average score this season, 3 shutouts. And by the way, that's 3 shutouts in 7 wins that are not by forfeit. They had a forfeit win in there as well. We're not counting that as a shutout. 50-plus in 4 of 8 games. They're on pace for that right now.
Their lone loss this season came in week 2 to the Indiana School for the Deaf, 16-12.
They have been a wrecking ball since then. Winners of 7 in a row. And a 4-score lead for CSD Fremont at the half. Good first half for Warren Keller. He's with Quinn.
Coach, with all the hype and the build-up and the emotion, why do you think you're really able to get off to such a good start?
That's what interests me the most. I think, if we focus and stay with our focus and our game plan and we go with what we do all week, we don't have to jump to a new script or a plan B or anything like that. And luckily the rain held out, so I think that's why we got our passes off and everything. So it's good to start off strong.
Coach Hawk was talking about your offensive versatility. How many plays would you estimate, different plays, did you run in that first half?
We have about 150 different plays, 30 different formations, times 2 left and right. So that means we have about 300. So a lot of them we don't use, but, we use them in different formations. And most of them look similar, but they have a different formation in the look. And now I would say we ran about 60 so far.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
29-0. It's a happy young man. Warren Keller and the CSD Fremont Eagles. Adnan Vert, Joey Calloway on the other side here on ESPN2. You're watching the 2016 Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase. A showcase tonight for the deaf community and the folks here at Fremont in particular. A 29-0 lead for the CSD Fremont Eagles over Woodland Christian at the half. Kevin Brown, Craig Halbert, Dan Hawkins, Quint Kesnick are with us as well. Well, I would think, Craig, that in talking to the players here at CSD Fremont and the coaching staff, that they had to feel some pressure coming into this game. They talked about wanting to represent not only Fremont, but the whole community. I don't see that pressure in the way they played. Came out in 3 touchdowns in the first 3 drives. What an explosive statement.
Yeah, they were awesome. They just came out and executed, and there were some hiccups along the way in fumbles and penalties, but this is an explosive offense with an expansive playbook, and they put it all in motion in the first half to put a lot of points on the board. And even when things didn't necessarily go right, they still made plays here. Spezio Armont, their big playmaker, number 3, getting to the edge to put them on the board, and then handing it to the big man, Khalil Aaron Bowles. 250 pounds rumbling downfield into the end zone. Here we see Jax Peterson rolling out, making something out of nothing to find his big tight end, Brandon Evans-Duran, to punch it into the end zone. And then coming off a penalty, they pitch it out back to the playmaker, Spezio. And they have just found ways to move the football tonight.
Time for our first half stats brought to you by Geico. Woodland Christian, good first half for the coach's son, Cooper Johnson. Only a sophomore with 7 carries and over 6 yards per. And Jax Peterson's done a little bit of everything. He's used his legs, he's used his arm effectively for the Eagles. California School for the Deaf Eagles, they are not a bunch of kids and coaches that think that there is a disadvantage that comes on the field from being deaf, and they told us about that.
We think it's actually easier for us because it's natural for us to use our natural language and coach the kids so we can actually teach them to the maximum of our ability. So it's easy to me. But on the football field, against a hearing team, against hearing refs, we usually need to explain to them, make sure they understand our background. So we need to speak with them a little bit before the game. Especially with us as a no-huddle offense, we always go. And we try and sign as fast as possible. Unless we go against another deaf school, it might be tougher. But against hearing schools, they usually have a hard time understanding us. Sometimes our opponents might talk trash or mock us or whatever. And luckily, we don't have to hear it because we can't understand what they're saying. We just play our game. And the distractions won't work on us. So we just keep focused on our game.
Advantage Eagles so far, no doubt about that. 4 touchdown drives. The California School for the Deaf Fremont. More football when we come back as the Eagles look for win number 9. in the books from the Bay Area. The CSD Fremont Eagles, 29. And the Woodland Christian Cardinals, nothing. Start of the third quarter, Kevin Brown, Craig Halbert, Dan Hawkins, Quinn Kesnick is on the sidelines. The Eagles a 29-point lead. We heard from Warren Keller before the break. And Quinn also caught up with Mark Johnson, the head coach of the Cardinals, heading out of the locker room. Quinn?
About the cleat cleaner right now on the sideline with these guys trying to keep their cleats clean with all the mud on the field. Mark Johnson's focus was emotion. He said he felt his guys were unusually flat. Remember, they had a 2-hour bus trip. The weather hasn't been great. They got here about 2 hours before the game and sat around a little while it rained. And he just didn't think they played with the typical fire and pop and emotion and juice that he's seen so far this season. On the field, tackling in space on a couple of those long plays from California School for the Deaf were the thing that got his attention the most. But he wants to see more emotion, guys.
Well, let's check out now the emotion from the California School for the Deaf Fremont locker room at the half.
You got to keep that fire going. You really got to keep that fire going in the game. It means you got to keep going until the game is done, until the game is over. Come on, let's go. Great job. Great job. We're still alive. We're still alive. We still got a new half. We still a new game in the second half. Defense, keep it up. Keep that fire. You see the defensive line just shooting out. Linebackers keep playing aggressive. Let's go. Come on. Proud of you all.
Brandon Evans-Duran, the senior captain, got up, speaking passionately at the half, as we saw him do at the team dinner last night. He has a touchdown catch, and it's been a fired-up Eagles team that has a 4-score lead after 1.5 of play. Look at Esau Zornoza, the 6'3" wide receiver who played some quarterback last year. And this is a team that if they get a big enough lead, they want to keep Jax Peterson healthy. Peterson throwing right now. We've seen Zornoza. We've seen Cameron Bear play quarterback this year.
Coach told us yesterday he gets a little nervous every time he sees his quarterback take off and run. As we mentioned, he's had 2 ACL injuries in the past. And a tough kid who, anytime he has a chance to make a play, he will. But as you mentioned, when he has an opportunity to keep him healthy, he will take those.
Peterson 8 of 11 in the first half. The touchdown throw. And his Eagles will kick it away and start on defense here in half number 2.
I was teasing Jax. We came from the practice field, which is about 80 yards away, and ran over here the other day in practice. And he could barely move between his knees and his tailbone, bruised tailbone. And I was running past him, and I was chiding him on and saying, hey, you need to get going. You're the quarterback.
I tell you what, on that big 3rd and long run from back at his own 5-yard line, you wouldn't know there was anything wrong with Jax. He's had a great first half.
Street baller. This guy's a street baller. This guy's played a lot of playground ball. All those uncles, dad, brothers. Been out in the yard playing all kinds of ball, stick ball, kick ball.
You get a family with a lineage of quarterbacks like that, I can only imagine what family dinners are like and the competition of who was the best and who got it done the best.
Craig, you know this in recruiting, though. The youngest one is usually the best. Yeah, they usually are.
Gets to soak up all the knowledge.
Yeah, they've learned everything, and they're tougher, too. And all the, all the older siblings and dads, they're tough on them. They're usually the best one.
First play and a half, Bryce Boyd on the sweep. Had the handoff from Eric Wyatt. Woodland Christian team that did move the ball well in spurts on the ground despite the first half shutout.
I was talking to the coaches down in the locker room, the Woodland Christian coaches, and I said, hey, well, what do you think? And they said, we just need to execute. They thought their kids were just a little starstruck maybe by the lights and the TV and hadn't really played with the same kind of execution. They'd added a few plays, but not many. They said they were just busting assignments on routine plays.
After the first down run, Wyatt is taken down to the backfield. by Angel Lara. Well, Hawk, you were in one locker room. Quint, you were in the Eagles locker room. What were your impressions?
Yeah, well, actually, Hawk and I were together, and I've never seen a locker room like it in my life. The amount of focus. Remember, these young men have to use their eyes, so they all have to be looking at coach. They all have to be looking at their captains. A typical locker room, I'm going to be changing my shoes, adjusting my shirt, and I can hear what's going on, so I'm not as engaged. This was focused like I've never seen it before, Hawk.
Yeah, they were locked in. And then Warren Keller, the coach, he had me come back in there. He had beet juice. He said he wanted me to drink some beet juice. Guess he got it from Gus Malzahn. He said, I heard it's supposed to work, give you more energy. Said it worked in the first half. We'll see in the second half.
Did you sample the beet juice, huh?
I did drink the beet juice. I did. I might be exiting the booth early, but I did drink the beet juice. Now, I've heard of pickle juice. That's cramps. Beet juice, that's a new one.
That is a new one. Well, I'm really thankful that you introduced us to the lexicon of beet juice tonight.
Well, when you're feeling down and out and you need a burst of energy in that second half, go beet juice.
3rd and 10 for Wyatt. Here's Johnson. Hurdles his way over. Cooper Johnson looks like he had his healthy share of beet juice in the locker room. There is a flag down on the play.
You see Quint going high, stepping down there on the sideline? That was good agility, buddy. I saw it.
I mean, Quint did act as a holder last week post-game at Kentucky. He's just getting his weekly work in.
We had him run some routes yesterday. Blamed his son.
Watch the guy in the green. That's Quint Kestic. Watch out, Q.
Look at the vertical. Look at the vert. Craig, would you say it's like 5-star, 4-star? How would you rate him right now?
I would say Quint is a low 4-star, but with a high ceiling for development.
Okay.
His best sideline moves are still way ahead of him.
Okay.
Well, first down after the late hit against CSD Fremont. Woodland Christian is moving the ball well. First down from just outside the 30-yard line of the Eagles. Deepest field position for the Cardinals. And Wyatt loses some yards. Blown up by Lara, who has been in the backfield all night long.
He is the man. Anytime you come in weighing about $150, you know you're going to be a force. Look at him shoot the gap. Really important. You guys know confidence is really, really huge. Woodland Christian on the road, as you mentioned, Craig, only 2 seniors. I always say coming out of the half, that's really critical on how the rest of the game's going to go. And if you can get a score, it can change the whole momentum of the half. And in high school, you know, they've got shorter quarters at 12 minutes, so it's even more vital than college at 15.
Second down after the loss is 6. Into traffic. This is grabbed by Hyatt. Evans Duran on the stop. And there again is defensive coordinator, top right of your screen, Mario Arellano. He signals the plays defensively. Evans Duran receives it. The funny thing is there's no huddle offensively, but still a bit of a muddled huddle defensively.
Yeah, they've been doing it so long for that way. I think they're comfortable with it. I talked to those guys about it the other day. I said it's funny. Everybody does no huddle defense with the hearing teams, and they're just kind of comfortable with it that way.
3rd and 13. Wyatt hit as he throws. Ball is out and picked up by the Eagles. Kalel Arambolis forced the fumble, and he scooped up the recovery.
The freshman all the way from Brooklyn. Arambola's dad is here today in the military.
Mom and dad and little brother right here in the stands below us.
Out of the Bronx, that borough pride is very important, Coach. They see Aaron Molis coming off the edge. Yeah. Just as QB was getting ready to throw, he was able to get his hands on it and knock the football out.
That's right, you Long Island's guys get me straight.
Somebody's got to do it. Jax Peterson, first play offensively of the half. A deep shot incomplete. Looking for his big target, Evans Duran. Warren Keller, who signals the plays offensively. First signal for the formation. Second signal for the play. This is a school that used to beat a drum on the sideline, feel the vibrations for the cadence that's now extinct because of how quick they move.
You watch the quarterback Jackson's leg, just like you watch every Saturday. The leg goes up, he initiates for the snap, and he gets the football, and they're looking to do it in under 5 seconds per play. They move so fast that Coach Keller told us yesterday that one game, the ref didn't have a chance to get out of the way and wind up going down. You see the clock there working a little bit over 10. This would be a slow one for them as they check to the sideline.
This is one of the longest gaps from tackle to snap that we've seen in the game. They were ready at about 10. But with the 4-score lead, the Eagles taking their time. On third down, off the flip, it's Bear. Camlin Bear with a first down. Let's roll the clock back, folks, after the pickup of 6 on 3rd and 3. I mean, look at how quickly they want to move on the sideline.
Big Warren is going to manage the game from here on out with Jax, just making sure he doesn't put him in running situations. Kind of content to hand the ball off and not roll him out.
Eagles take their first time out of the half. They are on the move after the takeaway here at Fremont. Little Pac-12 after dark action tonight. Cal USC, and after that, keep it locked to ESPN for Sports Center at night. Lisa Kearney, John Anderson, all your college football highlights, NBA, NHL, NFL news, and everything else from the night in sports. Sports Center at night, streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. We're going to take you to our second silent drive. Turn the volume down and experience the game as the Eagles do. California School for the Deaf Fremont on a 37-yard touchdown run from Kal-El Arambolis. That's a heck of a way to make your voice heard. The big man, all of 14 years old, with a 4th down rumble. Eagles pick up where they left off. Touchdown drive of their first offensive possession of the second half. 37-yard run from Kal-El Arambolis on the left. There's mom and dad on the right, Juan and Griselda, brothers Gabriel and Alex. Special night for them. Special young man on the left. Cleared to play football at age 14, and he is, in the words of his head coach, in the words I think anybody that's watched this game tonight, a beast. 118 yards on the ground and a couple of scores. Angel Lara's kick. Toby Hyatt on the return. And Hyatt has finally taken down the return of 21. Let's back to the Arambolis family. Go back down there. Quint is on the scene.
Yeah, with the proud dad, Juan, and family. Introduce the world to your family, Juan.
Okay, I'm Juan. I'm dad, and this is mom, Griselda. This is Gabriel, the middle one, and this is my youngest, Alex.
Kal-El, we were talking about his name earlier. Where did you get the name?
We got the way you pronounce it would be Superman's name, actually, but it starts with a C, and his middle name is Justice. My wife's first name starts with a C, and mine starts with a J, so we put initials in his name to be Kal-El Justice Arambolis. He's really named after Superman. Yeah.
He's playing like it tonight. What were your options with him in terms of his education?
Oh, one of his options was to come here to School of the Deaf or to go to mainstream high school somewhere in South San Jose.
Why was this the appropriate and correct choice?
Education was the biggest thing for us, and him finally being around all deaf community was also big for us too. This is a big learning curve for him. It wasn't really about the sports for us. It was about the educational part. What could give him the best tool he needs to see the life later on in life when he leaves home. Yeah. They
warned us about him before practice yesterday, and I could not believe that he's 14 years old, 240 pounds, and he moves the way he does. What's his freshman year been like on the football field for him?
I think it's been fun for him. It's been a learning curve, actually, playing with older kids, juniors and seniors and stuff like that. Kids not really 3-4 years older than him. It's a learning curve, and I think he's learning how to get it. That's the big thing. I think 2 games ago, he finally is clicking for him now, which is outstanding to him to be able to do it as a freshman at the varsity level.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful to talk.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Quint, thank you. Is there anything more appropriate, guys, than that kid being named for Superman with the show he's put on tonight?
Good choice.
Defensive linemen had a huge game on that side of the ball as well.
Coach said he's a beast. He just wants to go out there and just hammer everyone who gets in his path. He really surprises Coach with how agile and speedy he is for such a big boy.
I think he had the right call yesterday, Craig. I think down the road might be somebody's fullback. You might see Jim Harbaugh holding the down marker here in a few years. And sleeping on the floor in his house.
There's a gain of 17 for Eric Wyatt in the first down. Well, if Jim Harbaugh does hold the down marker, he's going to have to stand next to Grandpa Peterson Mel, who's on the chain gang here. See if they got room for Jim here in the Bay Area. 17 for Wyatt as Woodland Christian looks to get on the board, driving the ball inside the 25. Bryce Boyd through the middle. Evans Duran, big number 30 with that scary-looking face mask on the hit.
Woodland Christian, as we mentioned, only 2 seniors. A lot of really young kids out there. Great for them to have a little bit of success. Hopefully they can continue this drive, get a few points on the board, and feel good about their drive into the Bay Area tonight.
2 seniors, and not only that, 8 freshmen. 13 of the 23 players are freshmen or sophomores on the roster. This is Boyd, who can't get the pitch.
I jinxed him,
School for the Deaf's back on it.
I jinxed him.
Mario loves it. Tyvon Lemaster, defensive tackle, recovers a fumble.
He's a mini pork chop. 5'7", 127 pounds, D tackle, but he found his way to the football.
Another takeaway for CSD Fremont. Their third of the game defensively. The shutout still intact. Look at the Hall of Fame here at the California School for the Deaf in Fremont. That's a last name that has adorned the halls of this program for decades. Uncle Ken and Father Rod, related to Jax, the quarterback tonight. And there in the clear poncho, there's Grandpa Mel on the chain gang. He was the first of the Petersons to play quarterback, a lineage that Jax continues to this day. They talk so much here, guys, about brotherhood and community and family. And when they talk about that, the Eagles, they mainly mean the extended family. But the actual family ties here, particularly for the Petersons, are so strong. And it's not just him. We were going through the Hall of Fame yesterday, and there were so many last names, Bear and Evans, that are members of this team right now.
About 50% of the kids here have deaf parents. And some of them, obviously, from lineage. Warren, his parents deaf. Actually, his uncle went to the New Mexico School for the Deaf as the principal, and he left a hearing situation and went to play football there.
Here is Jax Peterson on the move. And Jax will run it out of bounds, which I'm sure Coach loves, averting the danger. And picking up 6 for a first down.
Averting the danger, but took that football.
Get downs, out of bounds, touchdowns, Harvard. That's what we tell them. Get down, out of bounds, touchdown. You can see how crafty he is, though. This guy's just played a lot of street ball. I mean, he just knows. He got a feel for where people are at, where the sticks are at. I know he flaps the ball around there a little bit, but so did Ken Staver, and he worked out pretty good.
Got it to Spezio Harmount, bulling his way for a pickup of 10 and a first down.
Another low snap. He has the time to get it off the ground and give it to Spezio, and actually gave his lineman a chance to pull around and lead the way.
They love doing that because this offensive line, Craig, is not big. The biggest guy is Lara, the right tackle, at 185. As we see, Harmount's now set the school record with 21 touchdowns on the year. But to get back to this line, the gaps are often big in between the guards, the tackles, and the center. They like to excite them, in the words of Coach. And when you're lead blocking for Iso Zornoza on a play like this, that is exciting. Another first down as the Eagles move it.
There you can see the signs being held up. They also use signs. They normally use these when they go against other deaf teams, but the colors mean something, the signals mean something. They got a variety of things within that sign that they can go to.
It's a check with me formation is what we're being told on this first down for the Eagles.
Well, you watch football on Saturday, coaches, and you realize how much of the game is nonverbal with, college programs using the signs, and see the quarterbacks. You got the litany of backup quarterbacks with the towels being hiding the signals and work. When I came into this, I continued to think about what would be different and what would be the same. And every Saturday across the country, football has become, it's so nonverbal in your success and everything you do offensively as well as defensively.
Peterson over the middle. First down grab for Zornoza. His second of the drive.
Zornoza, kind of a basketball player, but he's really come on for the Eagles and done a nice job. He started to add it to the weaponry. They've got a bevy of skill guys. Make it nice for the Eagles to spread the ball around.
Mishandle snap. Peterson has it back. Throw is low, looking for Evans Durant. And a flag thrown. Flag is thrown back in the secondary.
Cooper Johnson going off the field.
I think that's the second time he's lost his helmet in the game.
Yeah, he's kind of upset. I don't know exactly what went down, but he's pretty hot.
Kurt Stroman in the white hat, tonight's referee.
Holding call, seems like, on the Eagles.
Well, we'll see what Cooper Johnson was so hot about. Look at the top left of your screen. Johnson being held by Spezio Harmon, who ripped the helmet right off.
Yeah, that goes beyond holding.
Grabbing.
Assault.
First and 20. Ball back at the 28-yard line. Peterson finds an open Zornoza, but he couldn't hang on.
Had to jump in there and coach these wideouts a little bit the last couple of days. It was a lot of fun getting in there and working with him on some technique. Obviously, my coaching didn't help him out much right there.
I tell you what, there was a noticeable difference, though. We saw you working with those kids yesterday. Folks saw it on our CFB on ESPN Facebook page as well. We went Facebook Live with it. It was a great response. I'd say this, Hawk. If we find as much passion in something as you had in coaching those kids, we'll all lead happy lives.
I was fired up. I tried to get Quint going over there, but then he claimed the sun was in his eyes and got out of the drill. The other kids, they didn't mind.
A lot of movement here before this. Now, I mean, look, you don't speak. You picked up some things. We all have some sign language here, but how did you feel the communication out there on the field with these kids was?
Well,
beat the third down.
It's interesting because they can, and you guys have been around a little bit here too, but they can kind of do a little lip reading if you're being slow when you enunciate, and then you just use generic sort of signals about some things and demonstrate. And they're very smart, they're very bright, very perceptive. That's the advantage they have. I think they have great intuition and perception ability.
Harbaugh hit on the third and long. We were talking about it. Let's take a look. This is from practice yesterday. This is Dan Hawkins strapping on his coaching hat.
Yeah! Atta baby! Woo! Yeah! There you go, baby! Atta kid! Nice.
Well, you mentioned Jim Harbaugh earlier, and I'd like to steal his line. You're attacking that drill with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
I don't know if it was unknown to mankind, but again, I was impressed yesterday when I was teaching these guys, really, again, how much they listened and paid attention and were really focused into doing, we're talking about catching it a certain way and the ball's in the back shoulder and spinning instead of reaching back, and how quickly they adapted to that. And part of that, again, is the blessing I think they have of just the focus, the real focus of listening.
Football, again, like I said at the top, football is football. And when you're out there and you're talking about the game and drills, there's a universal code there that even you're able to kind of work through the barriers that you may have between being hearing and deaf. And you see that, and that was awesome. Yes, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was great. I had a great time out here. And like I said, they're very inspiring. Quinn mentioned the halftime huddle, how it was very focused. And it's just a different learning environment. I was actually thinking as a hearing coach, I'd love to have a practice where nobody talked and everybody just paid attention with your eyes and how much you'd learn from that.
By the way, guys, here's our first look at and listen to the drum, which right now is directing the CSD cheer squad. Again, the vibrations of the drum used to be used for the cadence of the staff, but because this team's got no huddle, the drum's now found a different home. Well, on the 4th and 29, Angel Lara is going to try a 53-yard field goal. Actually, the ball spotted at the 45 the line, make it a 55-yard kick. All right, we're told Lara has hit from 60 in practice. We'll see if he can hit from 55 to match his jersey number in the game.
He's got the legs. Also, he's kicking in high top cleats. That's not something you usually see from a kicker trying to hit from long distance.
Tom Dempsey. Toe puncher. He can make it if the protection's well.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is no good. Strong effort, though, from Lara, who comes up a bit short.
Plenty of protection. Just didn't quite get all of it, but he has plenty of leg. We saw it yesterday. He can bang the ball. It takes a little extra step than a normal field goal kicker would take. But I think after Woodland Christian roughed him and it ended up being a touchdown earlier in the first half, I don't think they wanted to rush much.
Could it be fair? His leg's a little tired from get off and all the penetration in the backfield he's had tonight. He has been disruptive in that defensive front.
Couple of tackles for a loss and a sack. Quint's on the CSD sideline with a little more insight into that decision.
Well, as we see the ball now set on the 20s, that strategy to kick that long field goal is not that risky. Kick the ball out of the end zone, it's not good. And now your opponent gets the ball on the 20, so you don't get penalized. And I kind of like that in terms of giving young kickers an opportunity to go for some longer kicks and encourage them to get out there and try to score.
That's good strategy. Well, you've seen plenty of times punter punts it into the end zone and you don't gain much yardage anyway. Might as well give it a shot. You're going to get the ball back on the 20.
That'll be the final play of the quarter for Woodland Christian, which has moved the ball well, but turned it over on the last drive deep into CSD territory. A couple of turnovers in this quarter. Quarterback Eric Wyatt, their do-it-all threat with a first down run. Gain of 7 yards as the final whistle sounds on the 3rd. Jax Peterson and the Eagles comfortably in front after 3, in search of an 8th consecutive win here in the Bay Area. Back here to the campus of the California School for the Deaf in Fremont, one of 2 in the state. There's one in Riverside. That's the Bell Tower, a landmark that's been standing in the center of the campus since 1993. And you see the slogan, learn, experience, thrive. The 3 hands that make up the Eagle logo here at CSD Fremont. First play, 4th quarter, is a completed pass to Cooper Johnson from Eric Wyatt, the Woodland Christian quarterback. 36-0 lead for the Eagles, and their defensive leader Brandon Evans Duran receives and distributes the signals.
We see Woodland going to the wristband and get their call in the huddle.
And Warren Keller was telling us that one of the deaf schools in the country, the Texas School for the Deaf, they played, and they use more of a wristband system. And he said it's interesting the way they do that, because for a deaf school, he said, no huddle is our natural language. Something that they've adapted under his coaching and the defensive coaching there of Mario Arellano.
Such a big part of football that we all know is the offensive huddle that actually originated from the deaf community.
That's a great point. Yeah, back in the early 1890s at Gallaudet University, the nation's only college for the hard of hearing and deaf, the quarterback at the time was a young man named Paul Hubbard, and he noticed that opposing teams could read their hand signals. They played some schools that were hard of hearing, steal their plays, so he had his offense form a tight circle so the other team could not see. And to this day, although in much less frequent form, the huddle continues to be a major part of football. A completion here from Wyatt brings up 4th down. And isn't it funny that the huddle originated with a deaf school, and now here we are more than 100 years later, and Warren Keller wouldn't even think of huddling up offensively.
Let's slow him down.
4th and 8, and Will Black is ready to punt for the Cardinals. Want to let folks know that here in the state of California, with a lead of 35 or more for one team in the fourth quarter, there is a running clock. That's why the clock continues to move even after incompletions. So we will play the fourth quarter with that 12-minute running clock. Clock will stop for the break with a 36-0 lead for the Eagles.
The 2016 Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Forget about winning, man. Just go be a winner. Play your song. Sing your song, do your dance, play hard, play smart, and have fun. And remember the Eagle Brotherhood. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome stuff from last night's team dinner. Dan Hawkins spoke to the team. We now return to Fremont for the third time today. We'll turn the volume down and experience the game the way the Eagles do with another silent drive. Just saw a 35-yard catch for Cameron Baird. Behind the play, Miles Lampley pulled up. You could actually see during the play, Lampley stopped playing. He is being tended to right now. One of only 2 seniors on this Woodland Christian team. I'll be back from Fremont, California. The medical cart has pulled in for Miles Lampley, the senior, transfer from Davis High School. who's only played a few games for Woodland Christian as the rain starts to come down a little bit heavier. Lampley was injured on the last play. Watch number 71. Defensive tackle moves into the middle of your screen low. And it hopefully is no more than some sort of a cramp, as Lampley just got pushed back and just pulled up. So the folks will lift up Big Miles Lampley, 5'10", 205-pound senior, and get him on the cart. Tough blow, especially for a Woodland Christian team with such small numbers. And it was the first time since preseason where all 23 of their players were healthy, active for a game. But Lampley will leave the field in the fourth quarter.
Coach was talking about prior to the week that some of the dings and bruises cleared up as the opportunity to play on ESPN came about.
Mark Johnson, longtime college coach in his third year at Woodland Christian, coaching his son Cooper. Well, out of the injury, we will now in the next play return to our silent drive with California School for the Deaf moving the football. Jax Peterson at quarterback. And we will get you back into that with a big formation to the right. To that after this play with Arambolas in motion. First and 10 for the Eagles, and the ball spotted 33. And it is the freshman Arambolas fighting his way for late yards. So with under 8 to go in the fourth, we'll take a look, but no listen with another silent drive. 22-yard touchdown hookup from Jax Peterson to Esau Zornoza in the driving rain. 43-0. What a night for the Eagles. Physically, it's hard not for Brandon Evans-Duran to stand out. 6'3", 210 with long flowing hair. It's a leadership role that the senior captain is in that he takes very seriously.
As a player, I would say my strength is my voice, because maybe my team looks at me the most as the hardest hitter on the team or the most powerful player on the team. But I think my leadership would affect them more because of how I play. Sometimes, I usually give it my all, and that would influence my players as well. So that would give that same idea that as a role model for my team.
I love that, guys. We've been talking about how certain people don't know the deaf community as well. Certainly we didn't coming in. And to have Brandon lead into that with this, just the sentence, my strength is my voice. It's so powerful, and we've seen how he can express that on the field time and time again tonight. Touchdown grab for Evans-Duran, who's had a great defensive effort too. Senior captain who says he's hoping to play at Gallaudet University, but he'd also love to play Division I football. Well, Hawk is back down on the sidelines, and he is with a member of the Peterson family, Grandpa Mel. Hawk?
I'm with the original quarterback, Mel Peterson, out here in the rain on the chain gang. Can we get a shot of his T-shirt right here? Show him the T-shirt here, Grandpa. Show him the T-shirt. Mel, how awesome is it to have a school for the deaf in a special situation for you and all of your family?
Yeah, fourth generation. It feels incredible. Definitely one of the better schools, Berkeley and Fremont, now better known as Fremont. Got all four of them, 4 generations, and incredible to be here. First the mom, me, and the lineage just goes down to the 4th one.
Now, you've slung a few balls around in this sport as well, and your son and all your grandkids. Who was the best quarterback?
Best quarterback? I definitely have to say Zane.
Now Zane is playing.
But I'd have to say Zane. It's a competition between the two.
Zane is actually, and he's playing baseball. Here with the chains.
Every single game, 10 to 12 games. Don't miss a single one. I've got to be the single game. It's incredibly special. I cannot miss it, except for Mississippi last week. I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
All right, guys, we're down here with Grandpa, Dad, all the kids, 4 generations. Pretty awesome.
That is great stuff, Hawk. Thanks for that. Thanks for Mel for joining us. 4 generations of Petersons, Greg.
And Zane got the nod. He led this team in 2014 and led the Eagles to the first round of the CIF North Coast Section High School playoffs. They wound up losing in the first round. Now, maybe it could be Jax's turn to lead this program into a playoff run.
First down for Woodland Christian. Again, the running clock with a lead of greater than 35. The voice you heard there was Rebecca Quigley, Rebecca and Dane Lenz, and Kanara Price, who works with us. They, as much as anyone, deserve a special shout-out from us this week for interpreting, for acting as a liaison between us hearing folks and the deaf community. They have been so giving of their time and their spirit, and quite simply, there's no way we could have put this production on without them. So thank you, Dane. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Kanara, part of the many, many men and women that helped make tonight a possibility.
Been such a warm reception from this entire community.
It really has.
Over the last few days, and ever since we've shown up, they've really made us feel like a part and let us inside, and it's been such an awesome experience.
Well said. Second down for Woodland Christian, trying to get on the board. How about Cooper Johnson? Still running hard. The sophomore, Coach Mark's son. with a first down run of 13. And you know Mario Ariano wants to add to his team shutout total. They've got 3 on the season, looking for number 4, and they're going to have to do some work in the final 150. I mentioned that team, Hops, 2 years ago with Zane Peterson at quarterback. They went 8-3. The defense was the star. All 8 wins by shutout. Johnson again as we wind it under 90 seconds. Now, as we tick into the final seconds here, there's so many things that have stood out to us this weekend, and so many people to, not this weekend, but this week, so many people to thank. But is there a part of this experience, Craig, that really stands out? It's going to be unforgettable for you?
Yes, it's what I learned, and that while there are differences, there's so much of this that is familiar and similar to what we know about the everyday game of football that we may watch on a Saturday afternoon or on a Sunday or at high school. And it's these young men and this coaching staff and this community. They put so much effort into everything they do, and they're just a bunch of high school kids out here playing some ball and doing a darn good job out of it.
Don't ask them about something they need to overcome. Don't ask them about disadvantages. That's not how it is. The advantages far outnumber that, as we've seen on the field with their amazing communication and the way they've competed together as a unit tonight. And Hawk is back up with us now, and hopefully a little drier. It's been nothing short of inspiring.
I'm trying to do my best Tom Luganville impersonation.
He's with us in spirit.
These guys are proud of being deaf. They're proud of the deaf people, the deaf culture. I think it brings something to the table. But they don't go by hearing impaired. They have no problem. They could get cochlear implants. They don't want to. They love who they are. They love the culture, and they love the special education they have going on here with all the kids K through 12.
43-0 is your final score. And you can see the emotions in the celebration for Warren Keller, for the California School for the Deaf Fremont Eagles. And they've won 9 games this year, winning by shutout. That is nothing new. But the chance they had tonight, we're so thrilled to bring it to them. The chance to show this to the nation. It was a responsibility that we knew in talking to them coming into the game. They did not take lightly. They delivered to the best possible part of their imagination.
They just didn't represent the Eagles well tonight. They represented the entire deaf community nationwide very well. A lot of great pride, and I think that's what they set out to accomplish tonight. And Coach, I certainly felt like that's what they did.
Yeah, these guys have won 2 national championships for deaf schools, and definitely on the march again. I talked to Coach about the Indiana loss earlier in the year. He said, we just weren't really ready to go. In California, they've changed the rules. They can't do as many camps and get as much preparation. The Indiana schools were ready to go.
Our final score is 43-0. The California School for the Deaf Fremont over Woodland Christian. Please stay tuned. We'll be back with more from our game here in Fremont. First, we go to Sports Center. Neil Everett and Stan Perret.
Oh, this is why we're the worldwide leader in sports, what you just saw right there. What a special start to the show we have tonight.
Yeah, you saw their game tonight here on ESPN2, California School for the Deaf. Fremont taking on Woodland Christian School. We featured Fremont on an E60 story last year. Had them on national TV in a game for the first time tonight. For more of the Eagles, let's go back out to Fremont and Kevin Brown, who helped to call the game. We're going to get with Kevin in just a minute. But what was amazing to me watching it was the way they communicate.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the signals in and
yeah, you were saying something that sometimes they use a drum beat?
Yeah, I saw a feature on Gallaudet High School. Gallaudet College in Washington, D.C., Gallaudet University, Washington, D.C., a school for the deaf, a university for the deaf, and how they communicate, and I thought it was fascinating. This is my first time getting to see this high school team as well. They had their cheerleaders sign the national anthem. I didn't get to see that, but the cheerleaders signed the national anthem before the game. So just really interesting and triumphant night for them as they win at 43-0. Let's check in with Kevin Brown now. Kevin?
Yeah, guys, what you're seeing right now is the post-game huddle, the celebration here. All the fans come down on the field after the game. They are surrounding the team. They are surrounding the coach. Warren Keller, the victorious coach, is with our own Quinn Kesnick. Q.
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, congratulations. This game had a lot of build-up and hype for a long time. How did your team deal with that early in this game?
Oh, man. You see the kids, they're so excited about me. They're behind me. I mean, it's the kids' game. I just make it a good game, make it a good game plan. They're just following through. I'm just a good thing it didn't rain earlier. It held off until the fourth quarter. And I'm just appreciative because we needed to pass the ball. So, I mean, it was a smooth game plan. I think the kids executed well, and they gave the good sportsmanship. They represented our community well.
What are you most proud of?
That we represented the deaf community well. It gave a lot of deaf schools all over the U.S. They all have good football teams. And if you're watching this game right now and you're deaf and you're in your mainstream school, think about going to a deaf school.
You said the other day, we don't do anything different from any other football team. In actuality, I think you do it better with discipline and with focus. How would you best describe the way you operated on offense tonight?
We execute. We execute perfection. We're smooth. Our offense is tough. We have a lot of formations. We have a lot of plays that wasn't easy, but they put the work to it.
Thank you, Coach. Tremendous spirit here, Kevin.
Quinn, thank you. Thanks to Coach. An emotional night, a beautiful night here in Fremont. It's a pretty darn good football, too. 43-0. The Eagles win it here in the Bay Area. Stan and Neil, back to you.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Here's a look at the highlight. In case you tuned in late and didn't get to see the game. Getting fired up at a pep rally. First time they're on national television. 8-1, outscoring their opponents 98-8 in October.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that makes you so proud that you work there when you see stuff like that we did tonight.
Known for their up-tempo offense, Spezio Harmount. Now, he does it on the ground, and he does it through the air. He's got 9 touchdown catches coming in. Got one on the ground there. They need only 3 plays, 47 seconds to get on the board. Weren't done yet. Next possession. Jax Peterson drops the snap, picks it up. Multiple defenders had a shot at him, but he's going to go 44 yards on 3rd and long. Eagles going with the hurry up. Peterson getting his guys up to the line. Going to hand off to Kalo Arambolas, 14-year-old freshman. Rumbles into the end zone. More the same for CSD Fremont. 94 yards and a $135. 29-0, but still focused.
We're still alive. We still got a new half. We still a new game in the second half. Defense, keep it up. Keep that fire. You see the defensive line, you're shooting out. Linebackers keep playing aggressive. Let's go. Come on. Proud of you all.
You're saying keep up. I can't keep up with the signing. It's amazing how they're able to pick out the words that quickly. Is that just me, or is that amazing to have the conversation that way?
Oh, I have a tough enough time as is. You know that.
Arambolas comes off the edge, forces a strip sack, recovers it himself. Eagles fired up on the sideline. Ensuing drive. On ESPN Silent Drive, Arambolas putting the game out of reach. Eagles going for it on 4th and 2. Looks like he's going to be stopped, but he's able to get there. 43-0, the Eagles win. So now they've simply been dominant. 9-1 now on the season, and they've had some blowout scores. I mean, some really big blowout shutouts. They're averaging 46 points per game with that quick strike offense, plus 38 in the points per game differentials, and 4 shutouts. They have 1 win by forfeit so far this season.
Very inspiring stuff, and also just on a side, saw Dan Hawkins there, former Willamette University football coach.
It's the Big 12.
And then went to Boise State. Yeah.